Good morning. How you doing today? This is Joy. Lord knows I need some joy. Hey, Michelle, good morning. Hey, Jatan, good morning. Do you guys have your coffee? We're not going to be here long. This is our quick hit it or quit it coffee kickback, where I am not drinking coffee because I'm out of coffee. For those who know, my amazing company, Total Life Changes, has a healthy gourmet slimming coffee. That is the reason I actually got involved with the business, because of the coffee. Hey, good morning, Michelle. Good morning, Jatan. Good morning, everybody. I see you guys checking in. Hey, Del Marco. Good morning. Do you have your coffee? Do you have your coffee? Because I got some good news to share with you. I want to share something with you that I have been experiencing, and I think you need to know about it too. Okay, right. Exactly, Michelle. I felt the same way. My friend called me and told me about the tea. Everybody was talking about the tea. I'm not a tea drinker. They said, if you've not heard about IASO detox tea, they say you can drink the tea 2 times a day, 8 ounces, 2 times a day, and lose. That's why I wear the bracelets, to encourage people. You have an opportunity to lose 5. Some people lose more, 5 or more pounds in 5 days, because it's a waist loss tea. So when you first start drinking the tea, and listen, it doesn't run you off. It doesn't have you where you can't function. Hey, Josie, good morning. But it does work. But when they told me about it, it wasn't tea. What they said was that they had a healthy coffee. Good morning, Andre. Good morning, Roland. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for clicking on. Thank you. I'm not going to be before you long. I wish I had turned on Do Not Disturb. I forgot. Listen, I want to tell you about what I have been going through since 2011. And this is 2020. 9 years now, family. 9 years. If it was a week, maybe it would be a fluke. A month, maybe I would have been on a roll. But 9 years, you learn a little something about God in 9 years. And I believe it is a word that can help us right now with what we're going through, as we are locked up in our homes, but our praise isn't. So the first thing I want to do is publicly thank God for another day. No matter what is going on around us, we got to be ever so mindful to keep an attitude of gratitude, because you know what? People are sick, and there is a lot going on. And dare I say, people are dying. And so, we want to be mindful and conscious of, as believers, as we keep affirming that we are covered, but we know that saved, sanctified folks are dealing with this virus. So we want to send out praise first. But I want to tell you why I said I got to come on here and do this coffee kickback, and why I got involved with this company, Total Life Changes, because of the coffee. They said, what? You got healthy coffee that can help you lose weight. And I was drinking a cup or 2 every day. And if you see how people drink it now, I see people going into the gym. They work at the gym. Have you all seen them working at the front desk? They got Dunkin' Donuts cups. I can't even get it in the camera shot. Bigger than that. Full of iced coffee and sugar. What if we helped our young women and young men and whoever they are? Or what about the guys that are coming in with them big cans of Monster full of toxins? I didn't even get on here to talk about all of that. Because guess what? I ain't got no coffee. I'm out of coffee. So y'all pray for Marcus, because heads are going to roll. Somebody is responsible for us not having Delgado coffee, because you have to order it online. And now our corporate headquarters, thank God, are in Michigan. I can go on there right now and order today, and it can be here tomorrow. But what about today, Lord? So pray for my husband. But this is what I want to tell you I've been going through since 2011. 2011, I was a dean of students at a charter school on the south side. I loved my job. I loved working with the kids. I loved what we did. Administration, if you're still my friends, thank y'all for still being my friends, because most people are not, because not so much. I'm one of those people. Are you one of those people? I just don't do good going to meetings about meetings. And we had Monday morning meetings. That's why I love this coffee kickback. Coffee kickback. You got your coffee? We had to race across town for the Monday morning meeting, where we talked about the same thing we talked about last Monday. But nonetheless, it was part of the school culture, and we did it. and I was promoted, and I was the dean of students, and that's where I met my husband, and God was faithful through it all. But it was there that I came upfront and personal with my conviction about who I am as a person. That's really what I want to talk to you about today. What we find through adversity. Who are you as a person? You see, because I had a good salary and I had good benefits, and I was so grateful, and you know how it is, you get paid, and we was kicking it. But it was during the week. Every week I had a binder family this big full of suspension letters. That's all I did. Suspend, put kids in detention, and expulsion. And it made me evaluate who I was as a person. And then don't let me get your kids in there, because your children are smarter. Your children, you raised your children right. And I loved your kids. And they came in there and told me, my mama said, you can't put me out this classroom. My mama paid tax dollars for me to go to school. And you know what? She was right. And I said, God, now, here I am. I started there as a gym teacher, and then I got promoted into administration, and then I had the good salary. What do you do when you have all the ingredients of what should be a success, but at the core of the situation, it's not who you are as a person? And I had to evaluate, okay, I was a young girl, and I hope you've gotten my book. Have you gotten my book? Come on, support a sister. It's on the Hot Reads, READS.com, thehotreads.com. And I touch on, I don't really get into it because I dedicated the book to my husband and my daughters and all the people that take my classes. But I touch on, when my parents divorced and my mom, they separated, and then we moved to Hyde Park, and then she got the younger boyfriend, and then you can fill in the blanks. Fill in the blank. I don't know where these videos go, but okay, you got it. And so that was my life during my teenage years. I went from being a straight A student at Beasley Academic Center. Yes, I was a Beasley Bee, to getting into Whitney Young and a lost teenager. I'm the only person that went to all the great schools in the city of Chicago and graduated from not one of them. I started at Whitney Young. Sophomore year, I went to Luther South. Junior year, I went to Kenwood. Senior year, I went to Hyde Park. So when you run into me in the street like, girl, I remember you. And I don't, charge it to my head for real and not my heart. Because I think back over that time in my life where I had to emotionally block out all those things. So there I was as a law student, but I had social workers and I had teachers that did believe in me. And I had a praying, she wasn't my grandmother, but she was my great aunt. She might as well have been my grandmother, who said, you got to get up, right? Because what happens to high school children that are lost? I was one of that first generation of the babies having babies. When they make those jokes about young girls out here with the baby dinner, that was me. So be patient with these young people, because God can turn some things around in their lives. Look at me today, but I'm skipping ahead. So I went from that to a high school dropout. My great aunt said, you got to get up and do something. She lived 94th in LaSalle all of her life, died in that house, 90-something years old. And she was walking distance to the red line, 95th Street. Walked up there, got on the train, showing my age. That was Loop College, my friend. Wasn't no Harold Washington. Went down there to Loop College. Thank you, everybody that's watching. I want you to stay with me, because I got something for you. And I hope you got your coffee, because I don't have coffee, but we talked about that at the top of the hour. This is chaga. Chaga is an herb. It comes in capsules, but I open it up and I drink it. It's so good. It's full body, light coffee, no caffeine. Although I love my Delgado better, but I digress. Nonetheless, took the train, Luke College, got the GED, end up in subsidized housing on the north side of Chicago, lived on Fullerton and Ashland, walking distance from DePaul University. I'll never forget going to the aid office. Thank you, Lily. God bless you. Never forget going to the aid office. And the lady said, how you going to DePaul? And I didn't know. I wasn't thinking about income. I was thinking about proximity. I said, well, it's in walking distance. And she said, well, you're going to have to do a resume to get in there. And I'm like, how do you resume to get in there? Because even though, I was a high school dropout, and even though I had made some poor choices, I did come from a good home, and my mother was the director of career development. And I'm sitting there trying to figure out how I'm going to resume to get to this school until I figured out the lady is talking about, was my caseworker family. I got to do a resume, is what she meant, to go to school. Even though, family, we all know you don't have to do a resume to get in college. Nonetheless, I graduated from DePaul, got the bachelor's, got the master's, got the second master's, started being a PE teacher, got in that school, got promoted. Now I'm suspending kids every day, all day. I'm doing suspension letters. I'm in the teacher's lounge crying, and I'm remembering the little girl that I was lost, having to go home to people in my household. And now I'm sending these kids out in the street. I'm like giving them a ticket. Go be lost like I was. Go hit rock bottom like I did. Good luck. And the Spirit of the Lord said to me, we got to get out this job. And I wish I could make it so saved and sanctified, but it was also my doctor who said, this job is going to kill you. Your blood pressure is up. I had stuff happening in my body that should not have been. This job is going to kill you. As a matter of fact, that very same year, I got put in the hospital 11 days. So for this corona. So I'm making a point here. Put in the hospital 11 days. No food, no water, not even an ice chip. With an IV, morphine and potassium. If you ever been sick, if you ever got morphine or potassium, it burns in your veins. All I had, good morning, everybody. Kenya, Frederick, Lisa, Mia, everybody, good morning. Thank you for clicking on this. There I am in this hospital room. Can't have no family. Quarantine, very much like what's happening today. This was 2011 for me. With potassium and morphine. And when you can't eat, you don't want to watch regular TV. And regular TV, all it has is commercials about KFC and Burger King and Red Lobster and Olive Garden. And I couldn't watch that. I had to find me another channel. Do you know what I watched for 11 days straight? The Word Network. Praise the Lord. Trinity Broadcast. Anybody that had a word. And God really dealt with me during that time. And I'm recalling all of this as we're talking about these people quarantined, having been there myself. Praise God, it wasn't this virus. As a matter of fact, you know what they diagnosed me with? This is what they told me. I had an idiopathic illness. If you look that up, you'll find that idiopathic means they don't know what I had. Matter of fact, my doctor, who's been my primary care physician for years, is Jewish, and he said to me, and I quote, well, you've always been a peculiar person. And so we just took it for what it was. But that experience, these 9 years ago of being quarantined, never working full-time since. I have not had a full-time, good salary job since 2011. Sometimes when I sit and think about that we haven't been homeless, I drive a BMW. I want to talk to people who are watching, and you worried about all of this. Family, it wasn't until this county care, 6-9 months ago. For most of this time, I've been without medical insurance. Going in, teaching every class that you see me in. Sometimes limping. I didn't sprain an ankle. But now I'm not advocating that you don't have the insurance and the coverage that you need, because when you know better, you do better. But sometimes God needs a vessel to use who will then speak to talk about what he can do. And so I'm coming before you with my chaga, because I ain't got no coffee. Take a sip of your coffee. You got your coffee? It's a coffee kickback. Go grab you some coffee. Hurry up. Throw the cake up in there. Marcy, I love you. So nice to see you, my Colombian sister. I hope you're still doing your Zumba. Lily, Julie, I saw you all jump in. Thank you so much, everybody. I had to come on this coffee kickback today. As we're talking about quarantines and viruses and all this. I mean, who can say they've been through that? I had a test run. But he's a healer and a provider. But this is what I want to tell you as we prepare, because there's a shift. There's a shift. All of this is purposeful. Come on, if you know your word, you know that everything works for the good of those who love him, who've been called according to his purpose. You know that this is a purpose in what's happening in this season. But here is what the message the Lord gave to me those 9 years ago. And here is what I will bring to you today. Do you have the stamina to endure the blessing that God has for your life? I see my first lady here. First lady, I love you. Thank you for you and Pastor Dan. You guys have been nothing but a source of refreshment to me since coming to Lighthouse over a year ago. I love the church. I love the songs. You guys stay safe. Practice social distancing. Thank you for all the prayers. But when I see y'all touching hands, I say, God, help them. Keep them safe. And thank you to all the rest of my family that is here. But here's what I'm saying to you. You see, for the faithful tithers, it is an honor. And if you haven't been, you can start today. For the faithful tithers who know that word, I love that God says, test me in this. I mean, there's sometimes God just, as the kids say, he come at our head. He comes straight at our head. He comes at our heart. God came hard with it in Malachi. Test me in this and see if I won't open. He said, see. Try me out. You've tried this. You tried that. Okay, see, you sold into your job, and now you can't go to work. You sold into this person, but now you got to stay apart from them. You sold into this activity, but the gym is closed. You can't go there now. Where have you sown your seeds? Because see, now when you want to reap a harvest, if you haven't put them in good ground, you got no fruit. Oh my God. And the Lord said, you'll be able to see and identify who to get in divine partnership with, because they will have not fruit for you to look at. The Lord says, taste and see. It'll be good. It'll be sweet. It'll be nourishing. It will be life sustaining. You will have some. Look at that. I went through that quarantine 9 years ago, and here is the fruit. Alive and well and healthy and family. I looked up yesterday because God opened a door. He will open doors you never dreamed imaginable. When it says exceedingly and abundantly above all that you could ask or think, you haven't thought up what, when God gives it, because he gave me a thought. I didn't think it up. He gave it to me. He said, call this person and tell them that you're willing to be of service. I didn't call up and say, can you give me some money? I didn't call up with, I said, this is the gift I have. I'm willing to use it on this platform. And they said, we'd love to have you. And then yesterday I sat up and looked up and God showed me something. Oprah did a live with Alicia Keys. Oprah, Alicia Keys, side by side. They had 17,000 viewers, so many shares. I did a workout Saturday live. I looked at the numbers. I had over 18,000 views. I don't know. I had similar numbers to Oprah. I ain't shouting me out because we all know my account looks a lot different than Oprah. I'm talking about what God can do. I'm talking about what God can do when you yield yourself. When you say, yeah, the money is good, God. I love this money. Thank you for this good job. Because some of us, we say, oh, God, but it's a good job. Oh, the Lord knows my heart. He will transform me in this position and make these conflicts that I have morally. He will work them out. No. You know when you're not doing what God has instructed you, when it doesn't make your heart sing. And when I was writing those suspension letters and I was sending kids out there and I was finding out, what do you think boys and girls do when they're suspended and they can't go to school, and they got suspended because they had a white fleck on a black shoe and the school policy says all black shoes? And then they said, well, my mama said I'm not going in school detention. My mama said I'm supposed to be in the classroom. And then the teacher writes them up because now they're flagrantly disrespectful, merely speaking their right to want to be educated. And then I got to be a good team player because I want to keep this good salary. And so I send them home. After a while, that just hurt. Darnell, Maurice, John. Shout out to my brother Darnell Payne, who's on here right now, who works with many of the students in alternative schools when our schools are open, who do get put out from people in jobs like me, like the one I had, who takes good kids and just, creates these systems and processes. It's almost as if we create these exclusionary practices, and God, I feel this presence of the Lord, and said, not you. And I said, I will not suspend another child, and God will make a way. And so here I am 9 years later, after I went through all of that, and my doctor said the job will make you sick, and it did. And I had to be quarantined for 11 days, in case you missed what I shared at the top of the hour 9 years ago. No food, no water, no ice chips, just morphine, potassium, and the word network. And I tell you what, you sit up for 9 days, 11 days, and don't eat and drink no water and watch Jesus on TV, and you will have a spiritual encounter. And it changed my life. So you don't have to go through the whole quarantine that I went through in your body physically to get to the place where you say, Lord, have your way. Use me. May my work align with my worship. Because the problem, as I see, as somebody on the front lines with fitness and health, that many of the health challenges that people are dealing with, it's not that the high blood pressure is hereditary. It's that you got yourself in stressful situations where God has been dealing with you, that's not your gift. But you're just addicted to that salary. And now look how he will cleanse and say, now that I feel like God is tapping on a microphone. Now that I have your attention, can I please get a word through to your heart? I would like us to use this time, shameless plug, to get my book, The Journey to Love Yourself, because I talk about being a preteen. You guys, I was in 8th grade when those things happened to me, going into my high school year. Okay? These are things, my mother and I, we don't talk about that to this day. And yet my mom's in the hospital. I call my mom. I'm concerned about my mom. I wish I could get on a plane and see about what I'm trying to tell you is I got no bitterness. I did a long time ago. But I had to get healing. So what do you do if you got all this stuff in your heart and you never heal? Well, here comes hypertension. Here comes diabetes. Here comes cholesterol. Here comes arthritis. Here comes all kind of stuff that we are attributing to all these things that I'm here to tell you are starting from what you thinking in your mind and what you have stored in your heart. The word says, above all, guard your heart, for it is the wellspring of life. Because sometimes you start talking and you start saying stuff and I hear where the hypertension is coming from. It's not coming from stress. It's coming from your heart. The things you have stored. And I'm asking you during this season, I'm asking you to use this time. I'm asking you to give God permission, as we talked about last week on this coffee kickback in Psalm 139. Search me, oh God. Allow God to search. It says, test me. Help me, know my anxious thoughts. See if there's any offensive way in me and lead me. A lot of this stuff we've been doing ourselves, and now he's wiped the slate. You ain't going to work today. Not today, not tomorrow, not next week maybe. So if we got to be here, we might as well make it purposeful as he intends. Because we know that everything God does is for a purpose. And what is it for? For us to prosper, not to harm us. This is not to harm us. This is for us to prosper. So are you prospering during this season? And if you're not, let me help you, because I actually can. Because I want to tell you, I am. My business is prospering during this season. Doors are opening for me during this season. I'm not living in fear during this season. That's ain't nothing but God. So I want to thank you. I'm glad you have coffee. If you were here with me at the top of the hour, I don't have Delgado, my slimming coffee. It is the reason that I became a proud life changer with Total Life Changes. We ship our products I can order today. It'll be here tomorrow. But somehow I happened to miss that I ran out, and it is my favorite product. So I just want you to say a special prayer for my husband, because as with all things, if something goes wrong, I think it's his fault. So y'all pray for us. These are jokes, saints. It'll be all right. It'll be all right. I'm going to place my order. Life goes on. But listen, do you have the stamina to endure the blessing that God has for you? That's the question. If he did open up the window of heaven and pour you out a blessing right now that you didn't have room enough to receive, do you even have the strength to deal with it all? Come on. Do you have the stamina? See, you want the window to open, but what if it did? And blessings just started pouring out, pouring out, pouring out, pouring out. You thought, ooh, I got to sit down, girl, because you know my knees is bad. Ooh, you know, I got to hurry up and get this over with because I got to get to my medication, you know, my sugar level. So come on, let's use this time to get healthy. So the fitness evangelist has spoken. I had my coffee, chaga, kickback. And I've shared with you again my testimony that he is a healer, a way maker, miracle worker. Y'all know the song. So have a great day, everybody. If you have any questions about what I'm doing as a life changer, if you need some gourmet healthy coffee that has slimming, the coffee can help you lose weight. That seems to me to be a no-brainer, especially if you're drinking coffee. And then shout out to my blackdoctor.org family who has opened up their heart and their website and their platform. Have you seen me doing fitness workouts on blackdoctor.org? News check, 2.2 followers. So God is just opening doors and doing amazing things, but he never could have done it if I hadn't said yes. And more importantly, started saying no to some things I knew did not match what he had for me. So use this time. Get in alignment. Get your coffee. Exercise with me. Have a blessed day. Get you some fruit. And then give some out. See you next time.